One of the really interesting things to me about through hiking and backpacking, because for me as a solo hiker, and a lot of us are solo hikers, is that you go into this thinking it's going to be kind of a me and nature situation. It's a solo endeavor. Thinking about it as this very lonely experience. But the reality is there's this huge community of other people who are also through hiking, either when you are or have through hiked what you've done or something similar. And the same goes for backpacking in general. And we tend to be a pretty tight-knit group. I mean, it's often only a couple of levels of separation between individuals, especially in the through hiking world. And when I first started out hiking, my parents were extremely worried about me going out into the woods by myself. And along the way, as I would call home and talk about the people I was meeting and how I ran out of food and somebody gave me food, and how people on the trail would pick me up and offer me a place to stay and things like that. There is just this very rich community amongst through hikers, and I'd say most of my really close friends are through hikers, and most of them I've never actually hiked with. It's just because we have this shared experience that makes us have something in this big commonality. We've gone through this big adventure in life, and we have this in mind that we can share. The community that surrounds the trails. There is a network of established trail angels along most of the trails that year after year after year pick up through hikers and give them rides or host them in their homes or help them out in other ways. But then there's also other through hikers who come back and they provide trail magic for this year's through hikers and things like that. For many years on the Continental Divide Trail, there was this tradition started by a through hiker in, I believe, the early 2000s, where at this little tiny town in Idaho, there's this one cafe, and all through hikers are just really thrilled to get there because it's a long, dusty, hot journey in there from either direction. And this through hiker bought the milkshakes for the next year's hikers, and then it was a tradition every year that you paid into this fund to buy the milkshakes for the next year's through hikers. And so every through hiker that came in there would get a milkshake on the house by the generosity of the previous year's through hikers. And so that, I don't know if that tradition is still happening, but for many, many years on the Continental Divide, there was that pay it forward within the community of milkshakes and Ledor.
It's almost like that feeling of going to your first day of school when you go to your first through hike. You're trying to see who the other kids are that are out there. You're I wonder who my friends are going to be. I'm going to meet all these new people. And some of my best friends that I currently have been people that I have met on some of these long distance through hikes. And there's such an eclectic group of people because there's no demographic for through hikers. You'll have retired people that are super wealthy that are out there, and they look just as grungy as you, and they're just trying to get themselves up the trail the same as you. You all got a backpack, you're all wearing some shoes, you all got your sleeping bag, and it's just this shared experience that really builds this innate camaraderie within everybody you meet. One of the interesting aspects about through hiking in America is this tradition we have of trail names. You not only does it feel like that first day of school, but you also are getting a new name potentially. And basically the idea is that you get named by somebody out on the trail. Not everybody does it this way, but that's traditionally the way it goes. Is you find yourself, doing something funny or being quirky in a certain way, and other hikers witness this, and then they, assign a name to you because of whatever silly thing is that you're doing. I personally, my name is Jabba, like the Hutt, because I was eating like a big guy, like Jabba the Hutt's a big guy, and I was just overeating like crazy, and it was just, we had been talking all week about, I wonder how much weight we're gonna lose on trail, and then somebody caught me eating just absurd amounts of food, and they were like, there's no way you're gonna lose any weight like that, you'll be walking down the trail like Jabba the Hutt, and somebody was like, dude, that's totally your name, you're Jabba. And it's just stuck ever since. And that was week one on my first through hike. And I've stuck with that name ever since. I've just took it on as part of my new persona and personality, if you will. And some people kind of change their names from hike to hike. Maybe some people don't like the name they get. And some people also say no to the names they're given. It's just kind of all what you're willing to have fun with. And It's just, it's part of the fun of being on trail is kind of having that alter ego, an opportunity to kind of live an alternate existence. And I'm still living like Jabba right now. One of the unique parts of this culture is it's a mobile culture. Like you're moving like physically. The scene changes every day, the people change every day, and you're just constantly in motion. The people come and go, they ebb and flow, they breathe up and down the trail. You might meet somebody one day and might not see him for another 400 miles, and it's just an adventure every single day. It's new things happen every day out there, and so inviting. Everyone you meet is gonna just accept you for who you are, and that's what the beauty of through hiking culture is. It's just an acceptance of who you are, where you've come from, and what you're there for. Everybody is just dying to hear why you're out there, and dying to tell you why they're out there as well. So it's just a culture of acceptance, really.